Welcome to the episode Writer Portal. So this is where you're going to be coding all of your stories for episode. As you can see, there's a section that says Start Writing, just starting out, and the writer community. You also have sections that says My Stories, the art catalog, community, help, and payments. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about how to use the Writer Portal before we get into the coding. As you can see, I'm busy writing Catch and Release 2 He Who Finds a Wife, which is the spin-off series to Catch and Release. And then you can go over here to manage your stories. And it takes you over here so you can see all of your stories. And this is where we're going to get into. So I'm going to go back to the home screen and then I'm going to go to New Story. I am entering the Stuck With You contest. So I'm going to be showing you lines of code and command lines that will help you write your own stories as I'm writing Stuck With You. That might sound a little bit confusing, but you'll see what I mean. So my story is going to be called Stuck With You, The Road to Redemption. You want to make sure that the title of your story is exactly how you want it for that story, because once you click on create, it's going to make a URL for however you title the story, and that is going to be unique and you can't change it afterwards. So I'm going to click on create. So you can see my story title is Stuck With You, The Road to Redemption. If you go to more options, you get to add more information to the story. For example, you'll see on the episode app, it will have the story title, it will give you the cover art, the author name, as well as the story description. Then you get to list which genre your story should be added to on the episode app, and mine's going to be a romance story, so I'm going to click on romance. Then it says completion status. So you get stories complete, more episodes coming, or not applicable, no status in app. Which is something you do not have to change right now, because once you publish your story, it does give you this option again. And then you can go ahead and add your social media. So I'm going to add my Instagram, Nishay_episode. And I'm going to click on Save Changes. Okay, so now we can go ahead and create the characters for our story, which is probably what you want to do first before you even start coding the story. You're going to be needing to call upon character names, and episode's just not going to allow you to write the code first and then create the characters, because they need to know where to sort of pull characters from, if that makes sense. So we're going to go over to the characters tab. Then you get to choose your character style. So episode Limelight is the most commonly used nowadays. And then you can also go to episode Ink and episode Classic. So I'm going to go over to episode Limelight because I just like the way that it looks more. And I'm going to click use episode Limelight. Then you want to choose your story format. So you could either choose episode cinematic, which uses the full character animation and placement, but it requires a bit more work to get the placement right, which you do not have to worry about because I've been coding for episode for almost a year. Well, actually for a year. And I've been doing a ton of research and I think that I've pretty much got it summed up. So stay tuned for the tutorials that are coming after this, and you can find them in the episode interactive playlist on my channel as well. Then you get episode spotlight, which, as it says here, characters are shown one at a time in a window placed automatically, so you can focus on the dialogue and story. And I would suggest this if you were quite hasty to get your story out, because you didn't want to have to code all of the camera zooms and the pans and the zones and whatever. You could use episode spotlight, but we are going to do tutorials based on cinematic just because that is how I code my stories. So we're going to go to use episode cinematic. As you can see, the URL for my story has become episodeinteractive.com/write/character, which is the tab that we're in now, /Stuck With You, The Road to Redemption. And this is again the title of my story, and I cannot change that now. Okay, then you get the character section over here, and you can create a new character. So you can select any one of the pre-made characters, and you can change them later. For my story, I'm thinking of having two main characters, Alice and James. So I'm going to start creating Alice because she is the main character of my story, and I'm going to use Stella sort of as a preview of what she's going to look like. And then you can pick a name, how you refer to your character in the script that's not necessarily how the character is going to display on the app, which will make sense later. So like I said, I'm going to refer to her as Alice. Doesn't matter if you type it in lowercase or uppercase. Episode automatically puts names in uppercase, so that's fine. And then create and save. Okay, then you get to character settings, and this is where you're going to change how your characters look. As you can see, this is still the template Stella. I am going to tweak how she looks later on. I wanted to speak about the script name and the display name. So as I said, the script name is Alice, and this is how I'm going to be referring to this character in my script. The display name is how she's going to be viewed on the episode app. And of course, in episode, you want the reader to be able to choose the name of their character. So instead of it saying Alice, I'm going to type in all caps, first name. And you'll see why when we get to the script. I'll explain a bit more about that later on. Okay, then I'm going to go down to where it says main character. And in this story, I want Alice to be the main character. So I'm going to click drop down and I'm going to click on Alice and then save changes. Okay, and then to change the way that Alice looks, I'm content with the body. So you get 3 female body options and then you get the different colors. So I'm going to actually leave it as is. So she's going to have the female generic body and the skin tone is neutral 1. Then you can change the brows and you get so many options for brows. I'm going to leave hers as the arched thick style. But here are all the eyebrow options for females. And then you get the different colors as well. So if you wanted her to have pink eyebrows, you could definitely do that. And if you go onto this zoom in option, you can see it up close. But I'm going to put it at a deep brown color. Then you can go over to the hair options as well. I definitely view this character as someone who's got long wavy hair. So I'm going to try out the beach wavy hair option. And it is in the color light brown. Okay, this is what the beach wave hair looks like from the front, but if I go to flip view, I can see what it looks like from the back as well. So for any of the rear animations, this is how I would see her with her hair. And if you're confused by what I mean by rear animations, again, I will make a tutorial about animations and all those things later on. So I'm going to flip it back around and I'm actually going to keep trying hairstyles until I find one that I feel suits her. Or suits my vision of what I want it to look like. So I actually kind of like this one, but I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to choose the double bun half down hair because I feel as though it gives it more of a youthful look, and that's kind of what I envision for this innocent youthful look. And I'm going to choose where's chestnut brown. There we go. Okay, so I'm choosing chestnut brown and the double bun half down hair. But these are all of the hair options that you get. As you can see, there's a lot. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you definitely are welcome to. Okay, then I'm going to go to eyes. And there's a specific eye look that I like to typically do for all of my episode characters. But again, I'm trying something different with each story that I'm writing. And this is currently my 3rd story that I'm busy with. So I'm gonna try a different combination of looks. I quite like that. I want the color to be brown. Okay, so I love the eyelashes. I love the color of her eyes. I think I'm gonna leave it that way. But again, tons of options. Okay, then I'm gonna go to the face shape, which I do not have a problem with the face shape. But let's try the diamond defined contour and see what that looks like. Cute. Again, I feel as though this sort of gives it that baby face look, so I'm actually going to leave it at this. Then I'm going to go to her nose, and I know exactly which nose I want for her. It is called the round button upturned nose. There we go. I think let's just keep it zoomed in since we are doing her face. And then her lips, I want it to be the full flat top pouty. Let's rather make it the full round pouty. I don't actually like how that looks on her. Okay, perfect. And then a color that I always go for, or more of the color palette that I go for, is these pink sort of beige glosses. Okay, that's awesome. So I like how she looks. The outfits and everything we're going to change later. This is mainly to sort of put a base down of what you want your character to look like. And then you can also see the different animations. So let's do the admire happy animation and see what she's going to look like doing that animation. There we go. So you sort of get a preview of what your character looks like when she comes to life, instead of just having an idol like she was when we started out with this. And then I'm going to go to save changes. Then I'm going to go to new character, and I'm going to create the male character for this episode. Currently, I'm only going to start off with the first 2 characters, and I'll start showing you how to add in different characters later on. So I'm going to choose Roy, and his name is going to be James. Oh my gosh. James, and then create and save. I'm gonna leave his body style the male generic body, and then I'm gonna choose a skin color for him once he decides to show up over here. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna choose, let's see, more of a tan look. Okay, that's perfect. And then his brows, I'm going to make the arched medium brow. Let's zoom in on his face. There we go. Do I like those brows? Let's just play around with them and see. Maybe we should leave it the way that it was. Okay. His hair. Okay, so his character is more of that player, or we've known him as a player in our past, but now he's more of a man. And so we're trying to shake off our perception of him as this player boy, us being Alice, the main character. And so, yeah, we want him to look more mature than what we remember him. I think the crew cut's going to be a bit too short for his face shape, which I am going to change later, but still, I just typically don't like the crew cut hairstyle on here. Okay, so as I surmised, this doesn't look good to me. So I'm going to start playing around with these hairstyles over here. Not a fan. Okay, so I've settled on the, I think it's pronounced tousled loose curls long. I'm going to move over to his eyes. I want him to have a deep eye color. And then I need to choose which eye shape I want for him. I think I want him to have more of these round, you know, awake eyes, if that makes sense. Okay, that's cool. Okay, next is his face shape. And like I said, I want him to come across as mature. So I'm actually going to give him more of, you know, a shaved look. This one's got stubbled, and then there's the shave one over here. Not feeling it. Let's see if we zoom out. You know. Let's go for this one. You can't really see the hairs like that. But I am going to be probably zooming in on his face a lot, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's check out this one. Too much. Okay, I'm going to come back to the face shape. I'm going to move on to the nose and see what we've got here. Let's try the button round. So I ended up deciding on the chiseled square stubble shaved after I fixed his nose. And then for lips, I think I'm going to pretty much leave his lips the same. And then that's it for creating your characters. So I'm going to click save changes, and then we'll go on to the next tutorial in the next video.